Hey guys, in this video we're gonna cover everything concerning the wilderness, from how to build your wilderness in the first place, to everything about critters, to how to plan your routes, and much more. So let's start off with actually resetting our wilderness. And for us to be able to do this, we're gonna click on Edit Wilderness, and on the left hand side of your screen you will see a reset button, and you simply press that, and that way you can start from scratch. So what would the first step actually be? You see multiple tabs here: style, island, water body, road, right? You click on Isle, and now you have on your left hand side of the screen you have a style button. You click that and you choose, like, you go from the first one to the last one. So in this case I choose the Shelled Isles, and now I can see all the islands in the Island Shelled category, right? And I want to pick the islands that have nothing on them and are just blank, like this one here for example, because by placing this one, this is easy on the ice. If you place a lot of islands with stuff on them, it gets confusing later on, like where is what, is this, what is this, is this a building, what building is this, yada yada. And by choosing islands that have nothing on them, that are just blank, you prevent yourself from getting confused later. And so yeah, you pick every blank island from every single category here, right? If I place every blank island from the Shelled Isles, I move to Foggy Town. I look which tiles here are blank and I place them. And yeah, you continue doing this until you have covered a significant amount of space. Once you have covered quite some space, you can see I have used 60 tiles here, while in total I could use 190. But 60 is good enough to just start with, right? And the next step, once you have covered a significant amount of place, is you go here, you see this island tab, and below it is a building tab. You click on that, and you see you have quite some tabs here. All decoration, production, amusements, and you want to go to the tab production. Keep in mind that if you changed your style to, in my case, Neon Twilight for example, right, you will see no buildings. Don't be confused, just remember to set the style back to all, and there are your buildings. So these buildings are categorized into 3 different categories. One is based on ingredients, the other is processing, and the third one is a manufacturing category. So you want to go start off with any category that you like, it doesn't matter. What matters is you want to start off with placing a hub. You see here I have an ingredient hub and I have 2 different ingredient branches. The hub is the one that matters, and that's the one you want to place first. Now where you place it, that doesn't really matter. That is this choice is up to you. What you want to look out for is that when you place this hub, you just place it right, and now you want to make sure that you place the ingredient branches behind this. There's another note. You can see the range in which I can put down this branch. I can only place it 2 tiles away at max from the hub, right? So again, the branch can only be placed 2 tiles away from the hub at max, and you want to make sure you do that. You do exactly that. So this would be 1 tile away, but you want to place it 2 tiles away, and preferably behind the hub as well. That will make things easier later when you set up your routes. So you do that, right? You place this, both branches be placed behind the hub and 2 tiles away from the hub. So in this case this would be it. next to it, behind it, right? Yeah, just not in front of it. That's basically the only thing that is important. And that's, yeah, you will see why later when we set up the route. So you have done that. Now you do the same stuff with the other category here, with the processing category. Let's call it like that. You don't want to place the hubs too far away from each other, but also not too close. So for example, you can, yeah, see the place is already not big enough. I would now recommend you place, first of all, you place more islands to create more space, yeah, for these production buildings. That is not really 100% necessary, but I would recommend you leave some space, as it makes building the routes later a little bit more convenient. So I did just that, and now I have more than enough room to place my other buildings. So remember, place your second hub not too close, but also not too far away from the first hub. This seems like a very good space. Then you place the branches 2 tiles away behind it. Second branch 2 tiles behind it. And that's it. You do this now with the third category as well, with the manufacturing. First the hub, not too close, but also not too far away from the other 2 hubs. And there you go. Then you choose the branch 2 tiles away behind the hub. You do that again, 2 tiles away behind the hub. And now we can see our 3 hubs. They are in front, there's no building between them or anything like that, so we can perfectly set up our route right now. So how do we set up our route? You see on the left hand side of your screen there is a panel called Plan Routes right here. You click on that and here you go. Now you see this one right here, select route, right? So we selected this. We need to connect the buildings with a shovel with the buildings that have an alchemy bottle to them. So you can see you connected this hub here from the shovel and you drag it to the hub that has an alchemy bottle on it. And that's about it. Then after you did that, you see the building with a shovel, for example, has blue tiles. And you simply need to connect the blue tiles with the yellow tiles, as the building with the alchemy bottle has yellow tiles. And you just simply connect these 2 colors, and that's about it. Go from hub to hub. Then you can now see there is an arrow here. So we just did it, and we go to the next route, and you see the alchemy wants to be connected with the manufacturing hub. So we do just that. We go from yellow to green, and there you go. You see, routes connected. Then you see the manufacturing hub wants to be connected to the hub with the shovel picture. So green to blue. And all 3 of these routes, they have to be connected. So very easy. We go this way. There we go. All our 3 routes are now connected and ready to go. And that's how easy it can be, right? There's no need for inducing any headache or whatsoever. It's not complicated. I just showed you everything that you have to know, and it's very, very easy to rebuild it. Of course, you don't have to do it exactly like I did, right? But this is a very convenient example of how to start building your wilderness, right? We have placed islands, we created space, we set up all our productions, and we already planned our routes. And now we can start building more of our island. There are a few more very important buildings, right? So once you put down your islands, you put down your production buildings, and you plan the routes, which is we did all of that. The very next step is, again, you go to buildings, you go to productions, and here you see critter dwelling and trading center. Those are 2 buildings that you absolutely have to place. One, or I would recommend 2 critter dwellings. It depends, right? If you're a beginner, you only need 1, but yeah, if you have built your wilderness and your critter stuff a little bit further, then you need 2. So yeah, the point is you need a trading center first of all. So you just click on it and yeah, you place it wherever it's recommended, basically. Of course, you can put it anywhere, right? It doesn't matter where this building is, doesn't matter. So I just put it wherever the game tells me to put it, basically. So yeah, just a quick note. This is not about stylizing or having a cute or beautiful wilderness. We go just for maximum efficiency here, and nothing else matters to us, right? You can stylize this and yeah, make it as look however you want to, right? No problem. Then you need a critter dwelling. Simply you click on it, this is the recommended spot, you put it there, and it's easy. That's how easy it is. So maybe you want a second critter dwelling, just in case, why not? You put it here. Easy as that, right? And the very next step would be, you go, again, you stay here in building, and you click on all. And now, what is important here is, you see, let's take this moon dog, for example. You see when I click on it, there's no recommended space. Why? Because I cannot place it. And you can see here how many tiles it costs, right? 5, and how these tiles are set up. That would be the space that this building occupies. The second thing here is there's a water drop. What that means is that it needs water tiles. Very, very easy. More on that in a second. Here, this bell means how efficient the building is and how much vigor it will give you. So yeah, this is basically the key. This is all that matters, is this number right here. But anyways, the water drop, right? What does that mean? That means this building requires water tiles. So you go to islands, and to the top, water body right here. You saw that your building needed 5 water tiles, right? 3 just in a row, like this, and 2 above. That would exactly be the space that this building takes up. You place these islands, and now you will be able, see, to put your building down. And that's why you would not want to just spam out all your islands, but yeah, see how many water tiles you need and how they need to be set up, right? And yeah, these buildings that you see right here, they are already sorted by efficiency. You can see this here, rarity, descending, ascending, right? Just, you see, click on this, you see you can't build it. Then you see you need two additional water tiles, so you place 2 additional water tiles. This is really how easy it goes. Here, build 2 water tiles, like that. Back to the building. Now you can see you can place that building. Here, this takes up 4 tiles. You just click on it and the game will already recommend or show you a place on where to put it. So you do that. Yeah, see, 4 water tiles and how they need to be placed against each other again. So you go again, islands, water bodies, right? You place 4 exactly how the building tells you to set them up. And once you did that, you can set up the building. Boom. And you do this with all these buildings here. Boom. Boom. Right? Just go in order. It's already sorted by maximum efficiency. So you can just keep doing this. Click on this island. You see you can place it. Boom. Click on this island. See you can place it. And this is just what you do. Right? This is how you build the maximum efficiency wilderness with everything that you have available to yourself. This is everything basically you need to know when it comes to how to build your wilderness to efficiency. Of course, as again, you can base this on how beautiful everything looks and make, yeah, like build your own city basically. But yeah, this is not a guide for that. That is just a guide for efficiency, to be as efficient as possible. And I just showed you what you have to do. Once I finished setting everything up, yeah, this is how my wilderness looks. Yours will look at least a little bit different, because not everyone has the same buildings and everything available to themselves, right? So now we go to production, and yeah, you can see the tabs here, right? The critter center here at the left hand side, left bottom corner, there's a critter center, and this gives you some tabs. So let's go over all of these tabs together real quick. And what do they mean? What do they do? What do you have to do here? First of all, there's a handbook. You have some missions here. You simply complete these missions, and that's how you increase the building level caps, right? And you get some item rewards, etc. Just, yeah, complete everything that this handbook tells you. So you see I'm operation goal 10, and I would need to complete training for 20 critters. I can now click on this arrow here at the side. You see the quest right here. You click on it, and it pretty much leads you to this, like, to what you have to do, and it kind of explains itself. So the next tab would be workers. Here now you have slaves, right? They are called critters, and you can see all of my available critters down here, and you can see they have a little heart in there with a number. That's, look at it as stamina. That's their stamina, and they need this stamina in order for you to produce items. And the maximum stamina is 200, and this stamina depletes the longer they work for you and produce these items. Once this number would reach 0, they would need to go here to chill out, to sleep a little bit, and fill up their stamina bar once again. So if you click on workers, you can see all your workers, right? And how much stamina they have left to them. And you see, I have some with 9, with 35. Everything that is like, yeah, below 100, below 50, you can put into these dwellings here. So they sleep and they recover their stamina. That's it, right? Yeah, see, you can only put up to 6 critters into one dwelling. That's why you might want to place a second critter dwelling, which, yeah, I just explained how to do it, and that is not a big deal. So yeah, and that's really about that. Then we have the production tab. This is, yeah, the buildings, the hubs and the branches that we place. They are represented right here, and you can see you have to put up a critter. I choose one with 200 stamina, and I can choose the items that I want my critter to produce for me. And that's it. You can see in 28 minutes this mirror would be done, and that's about it. You gather these items here and set up your critters to be able to use the items that you gain for trading. So let's go and take a look at trading real quick. Here we go. That's the next tab actually. Here you can see what you need to trade, right? All the items like white prism crystal, a bottle of rum. It's a tank, whatever. You get the point, right? Dancing clay. Here, so here you see the items that you would need to be, that you need to have in order to fulfill this trade. And this trade gives you this currency right here. These, I don't know what they're actually called. They are called Jig-Jog coin. And you need these coins for a few things. In order for you to see what they are for, let's go to the shop real quick. Here on the right hand side there was a button called buy. You can simply go there. And you go here to Fluff's selection up here. And here is where you can spend your coins that you get via this trading that I just showed you. And you can see here a weekly limit on 30 on this one. It's a spiral shape window that can mix 2 critters. More on that in a second. So yeah, you also have to buy candy in order to train your critters. That is very, very important. But how do we actually get our hands onto some critters, and what are the best critters in the game, etc. So let's figure this out. You go to workers, and here you can see 4 different buttons, right? And there is a gacha machine, this one right here. So you click on it, and here you see you need the keys that I just showed you in the shop. And here on the right hand side you can see which critters and how many of them are currently in this gacha machine. And you want to use as many keys to not exactly empty out the whole machine, but you will use as many keys as you would need to pull the best critters out of this machine. What are the best critters? This is this one right here that is only available once in this entire machine, and it's called Tripodero. You can see each critter has 3 different stats to them: efficiency, endurance, and specialty. So what do these stats actually do? Efficiency is the stat that determines how fast this critter creates an item, right, under the protection tab that we did go over this already. So the higher its efficiency, the faster it produces an item. Endurance means that its stamina bar depletes less fast, right? And specialty means that it has a certain chance of producing an extra item. Let's say this critter produces a mirror, and when he's done producing that mirror, he could instead give me 2 mirrors instead of just 1, right? So what are the important stats here? Is of course efficiency is the most important stat. You want your critters to be as fast as possible in producing items. And specialty, because you can gain extra items, right? This is also very, very valuable. Endurance is not that important because you can refill the stamina of your critters anyways, and you will have enough, right? So endurance is kinda useless, honestly, and all we are looking for is efficiency and specialty. You can see this critter right here has over 100 points in both of these stats, so this is one, if not the best critter in the game. Another critter you want to have is this bird here, Dodo, right? You can see again why. Very good stats in efficiency and specialty. This is another critter that you aim for. And the third critter that you aim for is Tea Kettler. You can see 110 in efficiency and 95 in specialty. Pretty insanely good critter as well. And those are the 3 critters, the best 3 critters in the game, and those are the ones that you want to get your hands on immediately, as fast as possible, right? So you can see here there's a number next to these creatures, next to these critters. This Tripodero, for example, there's only 1 left in this gacha machine. So you would spend as many keys into this gacha machine until you have pulled this Tripodero. The dodos that you get in the process and this Tea Kettler that you got, like, those are bonuses, by the way. But you want to get Tea Kettler and you want to get this Tripodero. Once you have obtained those, you would down here reset flavors. What that means is it simply refills this gacha machine 1 more time, and you have top tier critters in this gacha machine back again, and you can use keys to pull them out, right? Because as you see in this critter here, for example, he's 8 times available in this machine. So if let's say we pull like 20 times and we get all 8 of those out, he's no longer there, right? And the more we pull, the less amount of critters will be in this machine in total, and that increases our odds of actually pulling the ones that we want. And once we pulled everything that we want, we reset flavors, and that's about that. Then we have another tab, like all the way down here. You see these two in these capsules, and this is called it's mixing, right? Critter mixing. So what does that do? Here you can breed basically two critters to produce a third one. And yeah, those will be untrained critters. The most efficient thing is to put untrained critters into this machine, because let's go for an example. Let's say we will breed these two critters. Then we have a mixing preview, and yeah, by mixing these two I would get another snail, but a better snail than my current one, because you can see the multipliers here. They increase by a certain amount, and what that means is that if I would now complete this mixing and obtain this snail, then if I would train this snail, it would grow bigger and faster and more efficient than my other critters, right? Because by mixing, by breeding these two, I increased the number that the stats grow via training, right? They multiply by 0.1 here, or by 0.05, and so on and so forth. So yeah, breeding can be quite important as soon as you have top tier critters to breed though. Because yeah, you want to breed top tier critters to obtain a top tier critter that benefits more from training. That's about that. Then yeah, the last tab, this one right here with the critter, and let me say he has a headset on it, whatever that is, right? This is the training. This is where you train. And yeah, there are two things you have to keep in mind here and have to watch out for, right? First of all, let me show you how this training actually looks like. So you see training is available, and you see my candy up here. I bought a lot from the store, right? So yeah, you will have to keep rebuying these candy in order to feed them to your critters. So training, you can see, since this is a dodo, his training focuses on increasing his efficiency, which is exactly what we want, and this is a huge reason why this is a very good critter. So yeah, I feed him a candy, and he increases his efficiency, and yeah, I can do this a few times here. Special event, right? Like, it's all the same stuff. You feed him candy and he increases his stat. This one focuses primarily on its efficiency, since why it's so good, right? He already has a very high stat to begin with, and his training also increases his efficiency. That's the most important stat, and that's why this critter is very, very good. Now you can see here that finishing the whole training will still take 25 hours and yeah, roughly 20 minutes. And the next time I can feed him candy will be in 17 hours and 17 minutes. And there you go. This is just what you do. Another thing here is that in order to train a critter, you have to choose one of your characters, right? One of the characters that are available to you to train this critter. Now, the characters have critters, specific critters that they like the most, and that would make the training more efficient and faster. You can see here, for example, my character 37, she likes the critter called a Bang Ikis. You can see here there is a picture, right? So you can see what the critter is that 37 likes. And if you would have this critter and want to train him, you would choose a character from you that benefits this critter the most. You can see here, Eternity, she likes this bird the most, this bird right here. So if you would like to train this bird, you would choose Eternity as your character to train that specific critter, right? Now there is a character here called Mrs. Bubble, and Mrs. Bubble is the only character in the game that synergizes well and trains every single critter out there well. She doesn't have a specific critter that she likes the most. She benefits all critters. So keep that in mind when you go ahead and train. Now you know pretty much everything about critters. You know about their stamina, you know about their production, you know which critters are the best, you know how to obtain them, you know how to train them, and so on and so forth, right? How to breed them. But there's one more thing I want to show you real quick, which you have to be aware of. Each of those critters, they have an ability, right? And those abilities differ. Now, if you look at this tea kettler, for example, he has just plus 25% efficiency, right? Nothing you have to worry about too much. But if you now look at the splinter cat here, his talent is when producing at a manufacturing building. If no other critters are assigned to the current building, this critter gets efficiency plus 50%, but also stamina consumption plus 30. So you want to have him at a manufacturing building and no other critters assigned, right? He wants to work alone in a manufacturing building to apply his most efficiency. So if you want to use this critter as efficient as possible, you have to fulfill what his ability says. Same for this one here. When stationed at a critter dwelling, all critters with less than 30 stamina get stamina recovery rate plus 10%. All critters with at least 30 stamina get stamina recovery rate plus 5. So he wants to be used in the critter dwelling, which is the place where everyone sleeps, and everyone that sleeps there will increase their stamina faster when this refined grubuncle is present there as well. That's how you want to use this critter, right? Then you look at the dodo here. When working at any building, for each avian critter assigned to the building, all avian critters get efficiency plus 15. So every bird that works in any building that is assigned to the same building as this dodo, they get efficiency plus 15. Something you definitely want to keep in mind. Maybe you want to have dodos working together, right? So both buff each other with 15% increased efficiency. Super valuable. Yeah, this is another dodo. These dodos, they have the same ability, of course. And yeah, same for this, right? So point is, be aware of what abilities the critters that you have and use them to maximum efficiency. Now, like this one here, for example, it says when producing in a manufacturing building. What does that actually mean, right? Let's see what that means. We go to production, and here are all our hubs and our branches, right? And you can simply read, You see here the first three are ingredient buildings. These three are processing buildings. And here we have three manufacturing buildings, right? And this is where this splinter cat that I just showed you wants to work alone. So, not in this building, because here there were two critters work here. Here, for example, two dodos would be very efficient, right? But in this one, where only one critter works, that's the place where the splinter cat wants to be, right? And yeah, this is how you use your critters to maximum efficiency. And that's pretty much everything you have to know about the wilderness, right? We talked about the handbook, we talked about everything concerning critters. I showed you how to plan your routes, how to build your wilderness. I showed you everything about production and trading and all that stuff. Ah yeah, by the way, there's one more thing. Here under production, you can see up here there's transportation. And this is why we build our routes, you know? Why we planned these routes out with connecting the hubs to each other and stuff. But this is pretty much completely useless, and it will only lead to your critters losing stamina and getting tired, right? Because what this would actually do is very weird and very useless. Let me explain that. So, you see here in these item sections. Let's take this one for example. You see here to create a white prism crystal, right? I would need mica. Now, let's say I would not have any mica in my inventory, so I couldn't produce this item. Production would stop right there, you know? But imagine like there is mica here, right here, and it would be ready to claim, but it's not in my inventory. So normally without the routes, the production would stop because I don't have mica in my inventory and I did not claim this mica yet. But what the transportation and the route planning, what that does is, even though that I did not claim the mica that would be ready to claim, the production would continue, even though I don't have that mica in my inventory, but it is here ready to claim. That's all that this transportation thing and the route planning does. It is like almost 100% completely useless. You have more downside actually using this than upsides. So yeah, unless you go like AFK, right? Let's say, hey, I don't play this game for the next 3 days or the next week, whatever, how long, right? Then it would be beneficial to set up this transportation. But if you are a daily player and you check your wilderness like multiple times a day, then don't use that, right? It would only lead to your critters getting tired, and it's a complete waste of time. So if you are an active player, and you check your wilderness daily, maybe even multiple times daily, don't use that at all. Don't use this transportation here at all. It is more detrimental than beneficial. Easily, it's completely useless, basically. But if you're away for a few days, then you can slot in critters there, and it will have slight benefits to you. And there's one more thing, don't forget to place your characters here. You can see here, there's a tab called Place Characters. You click on that, and you can see here the bond that you have built between you and your characters. And don't put characters in that are at 100%, right? You can see here A-Knight or Two Fairy, they are at 100%, and I wouldn't benefit putting them into my wilderness at all. But you see Druvis 20%, place her. Sotheby 48%. Place everyone here that is not at 100% bond with you yet to increase the bond. Because just in case you don't know what bond increasing does, it gives you clear drops actually. Wait, let me show you how that works. So you go to your main screen and you click here on the right hand side on crew. You see all your characters here, and let me go just as an example to Mrs. Bubble.
No matter business or bonding, you are always welcome.
And click on this triangle right here with the eye of Valle, right? Illuminati. Click on that, and you can see item and story, and you can see here unlocks at bond at 40% bond. If you unlock this and click on this, it will give you a few clear drops. Same here, 80% bond, you click on that, it gives you a few clear drops. Items, you can see unlocks at 30%, at 60%, sorry, and at 100% bond. You click on those when you accomplished enough bond, and it will give you a few clear drops. You do this with as many characters as possible to generate as much clear drops as possible. And that's it. That was all about the wilderness. I hope this video was fun and informative. If you like reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate that. But until next time, have a great day, stay safe, and we love this game.